what are we doing with what God has given us in terms of resource, not even petroleum now, in terms of land resource?
Nobody can come from anywhere to solve our problems for us. Nobody. There's no American or British or Chinese or whatever can come here. So we must solve our own problem because we know what the problems are. We know we have the same unique capacities.
Peace is the foundation of enduring prosperity, and for peace to reign everywhere in Nigeria, all of us as Nigerians must make necessary sacrifices. These are some of the words by Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo as he urged citizens to embrace peace and unity, which is the only way to keep all ethnic groups united in love for a progressive future, warning incitement of religious hatred, which can trigger atrocity crimes.
Today, there's no doubt that the biggest challenge Nigeria is facing is that of national unity. So my appeal to Nigerians is for us to lower the temperature. We are bound to disagree, but we must recognize the fact that our strength lies in our unity, and that if there's any conflagration of the sort that Rwanda faced in 1994, nobody will be spared.
The Vice President gave the advice on Tuesday at a one-day high-level conference hosted by the Alumni Association for National Institutes of Policy and Strategic Studies, elites and professionals against breaking the bond of unity and peace existing in the country.
And our alma mater, the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, have contributed immensely to addressing Nigeria's developmental challenges by engaging in research and advocacy. They have proposed several recommendations and implementation strategies on virtually all aspects of our political, social, and economic lives. To deepen this process, there is the need for a policy framework to implement the research findings and recommendations from NIPS, many of which are left to gather dust on the shelves.
The military is not their job to look at the real threat we have: militia, bandit, hardmen, farmers, IPOD, decay in infrastructure, kidnapping, poor economy, rape, and on. You want the military, they cannot. So, the only people who can do it is us, the people, the leadership. The leadership. A lot of us want to be leaders, but we don't want the ship because it's too heavy. Somebody said that there is state terrorism. And I said, what do you mean by state terrorism? He said, any government that allows unemployment, corruption, and inability to deal with problems, and weak state capacity to manage security and everything is a terrorist type of government. So, conclusion, political leadership will borrow this from the military. It will be a good thing. The intention of the higher commander and their place within the plan.
All of us have something in our mind. If we forget the issue of just, I must vote this person because you come from my village, I think we have grown beyond that now. Examine the people. Look at their antecedent. Look at what you know about them. Forget about social media because there is the good and the bad and the ugly in it. Listen, ask questions, do everything. Select leaders that you can hold them accountable tomorrow.
Practice and see how we can move forward. Nobody can come from anywhere to solve our problems for us. Nobody. There's no American or British or Chinese or whatever can come here. So we must solve our own problem because we know what the problems are. We know we have the same unique capacities to do so. Adopted by all. And up to now, I'm still adopted by all. So if we can do that to one another as human beings created by one God Almighty, why don't we come together and solve our problems? And I think it's important for us to go back to the point where we missed the road, because we missed the road. Let's go back, trace our steps, then see at what point did we miss the road, and then rebuild on that. That's the only way out.
The assurance from the armed forces of Nigeria is that we are on top of the situation. And very soon, all these challenges will be a thing of the past. We are committed, and we are ready, and we are already doing it. As you can see, that peace is beginning to return to the country.
I understand the need for leadership to motivate this dormant capacity, mobilize it for wealth creation. But beyond that, we must challenge ourselves that what are we doing with what God has given us in terms of resource, not even petroleum now, in terms of land resource. Because if you can get half of our youth to simply work on the land alone, on our land alone, and earn monthly naira, not dollar, naira, 100,000 naira from work, in 10 years, Nigeria will be a superpower.
We need to be one. Our preachers, to whichever religion they belong, should guard their utterances. What is coming out from our pulpits, from our mosques, are very disheartening to the unity and tranquility of this country. Our leaders should check them. Anybody who doesn't want to preach peace should be stopped.
He wants me to let you know that the problems of Nigeria is facing, the insecurity, the quest for self-determination, ethno-religious fights, and so on, all these crises will soon be a thing of the past if we are agreeing to be working together the way this conference has set out to be.
About desertification, they don't know the problem of erosion in the east, they don't know the problem of oil pollution in the south. Yet, they are the people deciding our fates, minuting our files, and taking decisions in our assemblies. This is one. You go to the universities, the entire student membership now are localized from one community. We can no longer afford to bring lecturers outside of our own communities. We can no longer hire people from other places. So the universities themselves are totally localized. And because of that, you have people who do not know any other part of Nigeria. Now, the media is also there to further compound the situation, particularly the social media. The information that are circulated are highly poisonous to young people who do not know the geography, history, or sociology of the country. They are in their own environment, and hate speech is what they only know and is only what they read on the pages of the social media. Now, for us, we are talking about elections. The universities have been closed for the past 7 months. Now we are talking about reopening. We are praying that in the next few days the universities will reopen. Now, as the Vice Chancellor, I have students and elections are coming.
Dignitaries at the conference were the Chief of Defense Staff and former Special Advisor to the United Nations Secretary General on Peacekeeping, the Sultan of Sokoto, Governor of Borno State ably represented, members of the National Assembly, members of the Federal Executive Council, and eminent Nigerians from diverse backgrounds, as well as all members of AANI. Olaimi Esun for Spy TV.